There's major changes in Roman Reigns' character. Randy Orton cost Cody Rhodes the WWE Crown Jewel Championship. Why Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six kidnapped The Miz on Raw. AJ Styles accidentally spoils his WWE in-ring return. A higher power involved in a non-PG Rhea Ripley segment on NXT. Reps for Janelle Grant demand NDAs be waived in Vince McMahon lawsuit. The Rock set to make a surprise appearance at Crown Jewel. Roman Reigns apologizes to Sami Zayn. Let's dive right in. Randy Orton costs Cody Rhodes the WWE Crown Jewel Championship. Crown Jewel 2024 is a few days away, and it already looks like Triple H is pulling out all the stops for it. For one, he has already broken a huge rule for WWE premium live events. So with that in mind, a lot of major surprises can be expected. Some could involve a betrayal, with one superstar either turning heel or babyface. A couple of them are inevitable, but WWE may want to shock us even more. From returns to title changes, 4 such betrayals could happen this Saturday at Crown Jewel 2024. Number 1, Tiffany Stratton can cash in on Nia Jax. WWE needs to pull the trigger on this sooner rather than later. Nia Jax has been bossing Tiffany Stratton around for too long, to the point where we all feel sorry for Miss Money in the Bank. She will try to cash in at Crown Jewel, with Jax competing for the namesake championship against Liv Morgan. However, Stratton needs to be smart about it. The former NXT Women's Champion could accidentally cost Nia Jax the WWE Crown Jewel title before stabbing her in the back. Tiffany Stratton would get a massive pop if she cashed in Money in the Bank. After all, we are owed a moment like this since none of the 4 world titles are being defended at the show. Number 2, Braun Strowman might return to WWE and align with Bronson Reed. This swerve is only possible under a few conditions. First off, Braun Strowman would need to be able to make the trip to Saudi Arabia amid his groin injury. He doesn't need to do anything outrageous, though. A simple distraction to his former tag team partner Seth Rollins would be enough. It would be one hell of a statement if WWE was to put its 2 biggest monsters in a tag team. Strowman may have beaten Bronson Reed, but they went head-to-head until the very end of their feud. That is how respect is earned among rivals. Reed and Rollins will go at it in a similarly intense match at Crown Jewel. However, like the Visionary did in the last Monster Standing match 4 weeks ago, it could end with a huge run-in. Braun Strowman turning heel would be an unpredictable swerve. Number 3, Randy Orton could cost Cody Rhodes the WWE Crown Jewel Championship. Another turn that is inevitable. It's only a matter of time before Randy Orton betrays Cody Rhodes. It could happen at Crown Jewel despite the chances seemingly being low. The Viper is set to face Kevin Owens in Riyadh, so his focus will be on the prizefighter. Furthermore, KO is the likelier option to cost Cody Rhodes his WWE Crown Jewel title match against Gunther. It's an easy setup for Survivor Series. But what if Orton loses to Owens and betrays his only other friend out of frustration? After all, this entire situation started when the American Nightmare decided to team up with Roman Reigns. With Kevin Owens turning heel, it has now affected Randy Orton too. Cody Rhodes is on borrowed time. This would lead to a triple threat match for the undisputed WWE Championship at Survivor Series, while whetting the appetite for a singles program between Rhodes and Orton. Number 4, Sami Zayn could double-cross Solo Sikoa at Crown Jewel. This is the big one. Following WWE Raw this week, the whole world thinks Sami Zayn is working with Solo Sikoa. He was spotted talking to the new tribal chief in the parking lot, causing Jey Uso to lose trust in his friend. However, the entire thing may be a well-thought-out plan from Zayn to prove he can be trusted. The former honorary use will likely appear during the Bloodline 6-man tag team match. Initially looking like he'll help Solo, Sami Zayn can instead stop the heels from using their numbers advantage by attacking Tonga Loa. This would allow Roman Reigns and the Usos to win at Crown Jewel. Most importantly, it would set up both teams for the impending War Games match at Survivor Series. Why Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six kidnapped The Miz on Raw. After this week's Monday Night Raw concluded, Uncle Howdy appeared to claim a new victim by potentially kidnapping The Miz. This footage surfaced during an argument between Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. In the background, Wyatt Six seemingly abducted the A-lister and dragged him onto a bus. Let's explore 3 reasons why Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six targeted The Miz following the latest Raw. Number 1, to write The Miz off WWE TV. One reason Uncle Howdy may have kidnapped The Miz following the latest episode of Raw is to write him off television temporarily. In WWE, kidnappings are often used as a storyline device to explain a star's absence without needing a detailed explanation. In addition, this also leaves room for multiple potential directions upon their return. With the Wyatt Six seemingly abducting the A-lister, this could be WWE's way of giving The Miz a break from television for a short period. Number 2, to send a warning to the Final Testament. The rivalry between the Final Testament and the Wyatt Six has already begun on Monday Night Raw. Initially, The Miz joined Karrion Kross's faction willingly, but in the latest episode, he attempted to distance himself, showing reluctance to stand against the horror faction. In response, Kross warned The Miz, forcing him to stay aligned with the Final Testament or face consequences. By kidnapping The Miz, Uncle Howdy may be sending a message to the Final Testament, warning them that they could soon face a similar fate. This angle will also intensify the rivalry between these two factions and ignite more interest among fans in this feud. Number 3. Uncle Howdy might seek revenge on behalf of R-Truth. In the early days of the fearsome faction, Bo Dallas confirmed that he despises those who betray family and friends for personal gain. Given that The Miz recently betrayed his friend R-Truth, Uncle Howdy might be seeking revenge for this act, explaining why he kidnapped Miz after Raw. Aware of the potential consequences of betraying Truth, The Miz tried to reconcile with the veteran on Raw this week. However, R-Truth rejected his efforts and instead mocked him for being targeted by the Wyatt Six. This suggests that The Miz's betrayal of R-Truth is directly linked to his kidnapping, reinforcing the idea that the Wyatt Six are punishing him for his disloyalty. This punishment for the 44-year-old star might continue for the forthcoming episodes of the Monday Nights if he doesn't get written off from television following this kidnapping. AJ Styles accidentally spoils his WWE in-ring return. AJ Styles' in-ring career stands in jeopardy as the former WWE champion had a scary leg injury during the October 4th edition of SmackDown. An awkward landing during the match against Carmelo Hayes led Styles to lose due to the referee's interruption. Styles had to be carried backstage and taken to the hospital for immediate tests. It was later reported that he had suffered a Lisfranc injury, which meant he would be away for at least 5 months. The injury, moreover, also gave a jolt to AJ Styles' fans as it endangered the 47-year-old superstar's in-ring career. It was also reported that AJ Styles was to be booked for a retirement tour, as his contract with WWE is also nearing its end. Dave Meltzer at Wrestling Observer Radio recently reported that the company has plans to include real-life questions about Styles and his potential future in the Farewell Tour storyline. The plans took a back seat as the Phenomenal One suffered an unfortunate injury. AJ Styles, however, isn't done yet. He hasn't called the shots on his wrestling career, and the turning down of TNA Wrestling's Hall of Fame induction bears testimony to it. The Phenomenal One cleared the doubts through his X account by saying that he is still an active wrestler. Even though he appreciates TNA's offer, he stated that he doesn't want to get inducted into the HOF as long as he is active. This statement was a reply to an X-user who had stated that Styles' rejection of TNA's HOF induction was influenced by WWE COO Triple H. The tweet mentioned that Styles' decision had Triple H written all over it. The former WWE champion clarified that the rejection was all his decision, and it had nothing to do with Triple H or WWE. Even though he is 47, the two-time WWE champion still has a lot of fire in his belly. He is considered one of the best wrestlers in today's generation, and his athletic skills have gobsmacked even his harsh critics. He battled WWE Undisputed Universal Champion Cody Rhodes back-to-back at 2 premium live events, Backlash and Clash at the Castle, Scotland. Even though he lost both matches, his performance drew widespread applause. He has a retirement tour ahead of him, during which he can wrestle Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and even John Cena, who too is starting his retirement tour in January 2025. If Styles returns by next year and starts his retirement tour, then it might be eclipsed by John Cena's final tour, as the 16-time WWE champion is bound to get more attention than AJ. John Cena has already announced that he will kick off his retirement tour in 2025 and hang up his boots by the end of the year. Even though the company can book the two superstars against each other in their retirement tours, Cena will take Styles' limelight away. Nevertheless, AJ hasn't announced his retirement tour as of now, and for the time being, all eyes are on his recovery and subsequent return to the ring. A higher power involved in a non-PG Rhea Ripley segment on NXT. An interesting bit of detail has already come out in regards to Rhea Ripley's non-PG segment on tonight's episode of WWE NXT. The Nightmare suffered a brutal attack at the hands of Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan and was left bloodied in the parking lot. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez were seen leaving the parking lot following an attack on Rhea Ripley on tonight's episode of NXT. Moments later, Rhea could be seen semi-conscious and in a bloodied state. Now, Corey Brennan of Fightful is reporting that the segment was greenlit by a higher power. There was some concern internally in NXT about the amount of blood shown during Rhea Ripley's segment in the parking lot, but it was greenlit by a higher power on the brand. Ripley failed to win the Women's World title from Liv Morgan at WWE Bad Blood 2024, courtesy of Raquel's interference. Rhea did win the contest due to the shenanigans, but the DQ win made sure she didn't regain her title. The Eradicator hasn't commented on the vicious attack yet, but fans can expect to hear from her very soon. Reps for Janelle Grant demand NDAs be waived in Vince McMahon lawsuit. The heat is on for Vince McMahon and WWE. Janelle Grant, a former WWE employee, is demanding non-disclosure agreements be waived as part of her ongoing lawsuit against McMahon, WWE, and John Laurinaitis. The case, which accuses McMahon of sexual assault and sex trafficking, was filed back in January, and Grant's legal team is making it clear that the fight for transparency is far from over. On October 29th, Grant's representatives gave an exclusive statement to Ringside News, revealing that, despite formal requests on October 8th, WWE and its associates have yet to lift the NDAs involved in the case. Grant's team isn't holding back, blasting WWE for what they see as a failure to protect employees. WWE has a responsibility to protect its own employees, the statement begins. Yet, time and time again, WWE and its executives have been sued for sexual misconduct and toxic workplace culture, including by Janelle Grant, who endured years of sexual abuse at the hands of founder and former WWE CEO Vince McMahon, WWE executive John Laurinaitis, and the WWE organization. The statement also slammed WWE for the lack of visible policies regarding workplace conduct. Today, there are no visible sexual harassment or workplace conduct policies provided on the WWE website. WWE claims to be better. They need to prove it. Kendra Barkoff-Lamy, spokesperson for Grant, previously spoke with John Pollock and Brandon Thurston, providing deeper insights into the case. Lamy underscored WWE's responsibility to create a safe working environment. For those interested, you can check out her previous comments by following the link to the interview. This high-profile case comes on the heels of McMahon's resignation from his role at TKO WWE, following the January filing of Grant's lawsuit. In May, Grant agreed to pause the lawsuit for 6 months while a federal investigation into McMahon's alleged misconduct progressed. With WWE's corporate culture now under a microscope, all eyes are on the organization to see how they handle these explosive allegations, and whether the NDAs will finally be lifted. The next chapter in this legal drama could make or break WWE's public image, and it's clear that Grant's team isn't backing down anytime soon. What do you think WWE should do next? Should the NDAs be waived to ensure full transparency? The Rock set to make a surprise appearance at Crown Jewel? The Rock recently shocked the fans with his surprise return at the Bad Blood Premium Live event. If you're wondering if something similar could happen at WWE Crown Jewel 2024, we've got some analysis for you. At WWE Bad Blood, The Rock made a surprise return after Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes defeated Solo Sikoa. He stared at both the babyfaces, potentially hinting at a rivalry with both of them. Fans may wonder if he could have a similar surprise in store for Crown Jewel to start building towards a WrestleMania 41 rivalry. While there may be speculations of a surprise comeback, it is doubtful. While the final boss could appear via satellite, he is unlikely to physically appear as the show is in Saudi Arabia. Considering his busy schedule, fans should not expect him to appear in Saudi Arabia unless there are reports of him being at the location. In case he appears via satellite or pre-recorded video package, he could distract Cody Rhodes during his match against Gunther. While The Rock may not appear at WWE Crown Jewel, he is expected to return early next year to start building towards a potential WrestleMania 41 main event feud involving himself, Roman Reigns, and Cody Rhodes. On January 6th, 2025, WWE Raw will officially air its debut episode on Netflix. The Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California, will host the premiere episode, and according to a recent report from Fightful Select, sources at the location are hopeful of the Great One's appearance on January 6th. The report also noted that the Hollywood star will appear in WWE in a sporadic fashion. WWE Bad Blood left fans with more questions than answers as The Rock raised his eyebrow, looking at both Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. While this could lead to a triple-threat WrestleMania 41 main event, nothing is confirmed currently. Plans could change, and fans could get something even better than anticipated. Roman Reigns apologizes to Sami Zayn. WWE superstars Roman Reigns and his cousin Jey Uso are set to meet face-to-face in the middle of the ring at an upcoming edition of SmackDown. Ahead of the blue brand airing on TV, former WWE host Matt Camp shared his 2 cents on what the OTC must do to reconcile and bring the Yeet Master back into the fold. Since main event Jey cut ties with the Bloodline, he successfully established himself as a solo performer on Monday Night Show. The 39-year-old Samoan star even captured the Intercontinental Championship on the September 23, 2024 edition of the Red Brand. However, the new Bloodline members Solo Sikoa, Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga cost Jey the IC title on last week's Raw. The Yeet Master returned the favor as he cost the Tongans the WWE Tag Team Championship against the Motor City Machine Guns on SmackDown. Given that the Usos has officially reunited on TV, Jey Uso has agreed to meet Roman Reigns on the upcoming installment of the Blue Brand. On the Busted Open After Dark podcast, Matt Camp stated that Roman Reigns must approach his face-to-face meeting with the Yeet Master on SmackDown respectfully and acknowledge his cousin's contributions. According to the former Raw Talk host, the OTC must position Jey Uso as an equal, not a subordinate, to maintain the latter's high status within the storyline. We're gonna get that meeting of Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Roman needs to make it clear that he respects Jey, he loves Jey, that he acknowledges what Jey has done, and because of all that he needs his help. You have to keep Jey on that top level. He cannot be little brother by Roman at all, whatsoever, Camp said. Another crucial member of the Reigns-led bloodline was Sami Zayn. Matt Camp suggested a potential reunion between the two WWE stars could be a compelling storyline. In the same episode of the Busted Open After Dark podcast, the former WWE host suggested that the OTC could utilize the Master Strategist to counter Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and the Tongans. Now, it might be a situation where Roman needs Sami Zayn, and much like he's going to have to do with Jey Uso this Friday on SmackDown, he's going to have to acknowledge and give love to Sami, Camp said. With the company announcing a clash between Roman Reigns and the Usos against the new bloodline at Crown Jewel, it remains uncertain which team will claim victory in Saudi Arabia. There's major changes in Roman Reigns' character. Roman Reigns has been one of the major names in the entire wrestling industry for a long time now. The former undisputed WWE Universal Champion has been the face of the Stamford-based company for quite some time, leading one of the greatest storylines in its history. The Bloodline storyline has been featuring twists and turns every single week on WWE programming. Last week on SmackDown, a major plot twist surprised fans when Roman acknowledged Solo Sikoa. However, when it came to calling the latter the Tribal Chief, the former was not ready to do it. This ended up being the foundation of chaos that broke out, which ended up with Reigns and his cousin Jimmy Uso getting viciously attacked by the Bloodline. In a recent edition of the Busted Open Radio podcast, WWE Hall of Famer Bully Ray addressed the segment and stated that Reigns had become more mature from what he was as the Tribal Chief a few months ago. If Roman was willing to acknowledge Solo, so he was willing to acknowledge Solo, but not willing to acknowledge him as head of the table. It's showing that Roman is maturing, becoming more accepting of things, Bully Ray said. The 53-year-old veteran also mentioned that since the Usos are aligned with Reigns now, the original Tribal Chief might stand beside them, rather than standing ahead of them as the superior character. So why wouldn't Roman show maturity and be more accepting of Jimmy and Jey walking beside him, as opposed to behind him? I mean, he's laying the groundwork. We're seeing the evolution of Roman. We're seeing a Roman who, as calm, cool, and collected as Roman was back in the day, was still quick to make decisions. Maybe now he's giving things a little more thought, Bully Ray said.